All right. Very good morning. Kia ora, Morena, and welcome everybody to our fourth series of the New Zealand Travel Trade Enrichment series brought to you by Brand USA. Welcome back to those who are joining us again and have been attending our past webinars, and a big warm welcome to those that are joining us for the very first time. For those that don't know me, I'm Wayne. I look after Brand USA for New Zealand. And firstly, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been joining us previously and joining us today for taking some time out. I know there's a bit of Zoomitis happening with so many webinars happening across all the various industries, and we really appreciate your continued support in joining us today. And so with that, we keep our webinars quite short and sweet and to the point. This one will go for about 30 minutes. And so, as I've mentioned in my other webinars, if you've got any questions throughout the webinar, please post them in the Q&A section. That would be great if you could just use the Q&A, not the chat function, the Q&A one. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll try and answer as many questions as you can. If we don't have an answer for you straight away, I'll follow up with you directly. And also our Kahoot quiz will be happening towards the end. I'll reiterate the PIN number for you again for those that would like to know it now. It's 245170. That's 245170. The Kahoot quiz will be happening towards the end, and a little heads up that the answers will be in our special guests section. So make sure you're listening hard then. So rightio, so we'll kick it off. Just to give you an idea of what you can expect from today, just going to quickly recap some of our essential trade tools. I've mentioned these in our past webinars, but I thought it would be handy for you to hear about them again. I'll then do a quick review of our Pacific Coast Music Trail Insider Guide, or Self-Drive Itinerary. I'll then introduce our special guest, Craig Gibbons from Los Angeles Tourism Convention Board. Craig's hiding in the background, but I'll introduce him more formally soon. And as mentioned, we'll go through our Q&As, and then I'll give you details of our upcoming webinars, and then we'll have our Kahoot quiz to be in to win the $150 worth of Visa gift cards. Alrighty, some of our essential trade tools, and our new one that I've mentioned previously is our COVID-19 travel guidelines. So the link is there, and I won't show you a demonstration as I've done in the past. But we will share a copy of this particular presentation with you, and we'll also share a recorded version of this webinar afterwards. So you'll have all the links and all the information that I talk about through there. So this particular site, I would encourage you to save it as your favorites on your computer. What it does is it will direct you to the state or city's State of Department Health's website, and in there it has all the information around all the COVID guidelines and regulations within that particular state or city. And it also has information around all the major hotel groups and all the airlines as well, all their procedures and policies. And that's just not US-based airlines, it's all airlines globally. So that's our located on our travel trade site. I'll share the link with you post this webinar, but it's a great resource for you. Right, moving along, our travel trade website, for those that don't know, this is a dedicated site for you guys that we've created. Has a raft of information on there, including links to some great videos and images. It's where you'll find information about DMO contact details. So if you've got a particular query about a city or state that's not represented in New Zealand or Australia, and you're struggling to find information, what it will do is it will take you to that particular city or state's travel trade website, and there you can download brochures, or you can make contact with somebody if you're looking for a supplier. So it's a great, great website that we've designed specially for you guys. Our USA Discovery Program, I've got a bit of an update here. I did mention to you on our last webinar that we will have a incentive starting in September. That's been postponed, unfortunately, but we are looking to do a significant incentive in October, November. It's going to be quite a large one, and there'll be quite a big prize up for grabs as well. But saying that, we've got over 50 badges currently, and here are some of our Californian-based ones. We've got the California Specialist Badge, Los Angeles, Universal Studios California, Huntington Beach, and Santa Monica, to name but a few. And I know that, I think Shona Bray's on this, but Shona, I am still working on your issue, and I'll get back to you. If anyone has any issues with the Discovery program, please just email me, but it is the official training site for the USA. Takes less than 5 minutes to sign up, and yeah, you can actually become a specialist in a particular city or state. Right, our Go USA TV app, so you can download this for free. There's no sign-ups or registrations. It's the premier entertainment channel for the USA. It's got a stack of content on there, from short films, documentaries, to full-length films. Yesterday, I kind of just tapped in the search bar Los Angeles, and it came up with an awesome video about the Last Bookstore. If you haven't been, it's actually an amazing bookshop that's in an abandoned bank in Los Angeles in downtown LA, and it looks superb. And the story behind one of the owners is actually really incredible. It's actually quite an inspiring story. So if you haven't downloaded the app, I encourage you to do that today. And our USA trip planner, I won't do a demonstration as I've done in the past, but this is a fantastic tool. And it makes you look like a real superstar in front of your clients. What you can do is you can enter as many US destinations as you like, and it creates a customized itinerary for your clients for either fly, drive, or just self-drive. It's got over 230 million pieces of data in there, and what it does is creates an itinerary for you, and it lists down all the must-sees and do's within that itinerary. You can change the order, you can add in flight details, accommodation details, you can share it with your clients, you can save it, you can actually put your own branding on it to say that, you know, this is an itinerary specially created for you by me. Yeah, it's a fantastic tool. That's located on our Travel Trade site under Plan Your Trip. So it's quite an awesome tool, and it's just great to have a play around as well, just for yourself personally. All right, our Facebook group, thanks so much to those that have joined up already. If you haven't joined up, please come on board. We'd love to have you joining us. All you need to do is just in the search bar in Facebook, just type in Brand USA Travel Trade New Zealand, answer a few simple questions, and you're in. And here you'll find the most up-to-date information. You'll be the first to know about our incentives and competitions and any news we've got to share. Please share it with your work colleagues and your team members. We'd really appreciate that. We're keeping it very much only to the travel trade. So if you could just refrain from inviting family members or friends, but if you've got any work colleagues or team members that you'd like that would be interested, please share the link. We'd really appreciate that. Right, our insider guide, which can be found on the Travel Trade site. Today we're looking at the Pacific Coast Music Trail. This particular guide is downloadable. It's all localized in kilometers, which is really handy, and it can be fully customizable as well, and you can change the order of it. You can have a start and finish in different cities, but the recommended start point for this is in Seattle, and it features all the must-sees and do's between these particular states around the theme of music. And of course in Seattle you've got the Museum of Pop Culture. It's where in the 80s where grunge music was kind of born, with the likes of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, etc., and they kind of went from obscurity to mega stardom. So I won't go into every single city, but have a look at it. It's on our trade site. Starts in Seattle. You kind of go across 2.5 hours to Olympic National Park, which is an outdoor enthusiast kind of paradise, and then you work your way down over to Portland, and then Coos Bay, San Francisco, Los Angeles, which has got an amazing music scene there, and then to Palm Springs, and it ends in Las Vegas. In the future, this particular itinerary will be bookable, And there's also links there to images and video content that refer back to this particular self-drive itinerary. So it's on our travel trade site, as I mentioned. So pop on there and have a look. All right, so now I am very pleased to introduce our very special guest today, Craig Gibbons, who's the Regional Director, Asia Pacific for Los Angeles Tourism and Convention Board, in partnership with Los Angeles World Airport. So Craig's going to give you a quick update on the city where everybody is welcome. So I'll hand it over to you, Craig.
Morning, Wayne. Morning, everyone. It's so great to connect with all of you and our partners at Brand USA. I'm sure I've met many of you over the years at the Brand USA sales missions across New Zealand, so it's so great to connect with you again. So today, I'm going to run through all things Los Angeles. So LA is the gateway to the USA, I'm sure as many of you know, and it's a city I'm sure many of you have sold over the years and visited quite a few times. So we generally find a lot of New Zealanders, especially travel agents, are quite familiar with the destination, which is great. We had over 100,000 visit last year. So what I've got to do is just give you an update on what's new in the city and what will be opening up from next year, as there's a lot of new attractions, hotels, and some major renovations underway at the airport. So I'm just going to share my screen with you, and then make sure that you listen throughout the presentation. As Wayne said, there'll be obviously Q&A towards the end, but you'll pick up a lot of the answers from my presentation. And then as an added bonus, I'll also be giving you the chance to win one of 3 $100 countdown vouchers. So make sure you listen towards the end of my own presentation, and I'll give you all the details on that as well. Alrighty, so let me just enlarge this. So firstly, we're going to start off with LAX, which I'm sure you guys ticket over the years, plenty of airfares to LAX, which really is the gateway to the United States for New Zealanders. And one of the main reasons for that, obviously, is there's over 100 domestic destinations across the USA that your clients can connect to directly from LAX. If you haven't been through LAX in the last few years, it's totally revamped, and there's even more to come. And even during this kind of downturn period, renovations are all still going ahead. So some of the big things that are happening this year is our second international terminal west of the Tom Bradley International Terminal will open towards the end of this year, and it'll be connected to Tom Bradley with an underground tunnel. So that'll allow for more aircraft to come in. It'll offer for your clients more retail and dining, and a whole refurbishment of facilities there. There'll be new biometric gates and automated screening lanes as well. So that's the building there just at the front there on the left, and then the one behind it is the existing international terminal, and that'll open up towards the end of this year. Alrighty, so one thing that I'm really excited about, which I think is going to be a big game changer and is well under construction at the moment, is the new monorail system. So the monorail will connect all 9 terminals. So this will make LAX, which I know in the past is sometimes a bit difficult going from the international to some of the domestic terminals. And this will allow the transfer process to be a lot more seamless for you and your clients. The monorail could also connect to a consolidated car rental facility located outside of the airport. And this will be for all car rental companies, both a pickup and drop off. And then they'll get on the monorail and that'll take them into the terminal. It'll be really a great travel experience. It'll only take 2 to 3 minutes between each station in terms of the wait time. It's free and it's available 24 hours a day. And then the other news is the monorail will connect to the new metro line. So the metro line that was not too far from the airport is they're adding an additional line, and that'll connect to the Green and the Expo lines to be able to get the train to and from the airport, connect onto Hollywood, downtown Santa Monica, and the Beverly Hills line, which is under construction as well. But all those other lines, Hollywood, downtown Santa Monica, are all open. So this will make it a lot easier. And then on the metro, it's $1.75 per ride per person. So it's a really affordable way for people to get to the airport if that's what they're looking for. All right, if you want to just keep up to date with everything that's happening at LAX Airport, a great way to do that is the new website, flylax.com, which has just been released earlier this year by the airport. It'll give you tips for getting around, all the information that you need on connecting to Los Angeles from LAX, terminal updates, as quite a few of the other terminals have been renovated, as well as the ongoing news about constructions and updates, and any safety or health measures that your clients want to be aware of. So that website is flylax.com. All right, so we're going to move on to the city of Los Angeles, and I'll just go through some of the amazing new experiences that are about to open towards the end of this year and in 2021 and beyond. One that we're really excited about is the Academy Museum, which opens up in April next year. It's located in the Miracle Mile in the corner of Wilshire and Fairfax, not far from the Grove Shopping Centre, if you're familiar with that area. And this is a museum totally dedicated to the art of film and run by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which is the organisation behind the Oscars. And this massive big glass sphere will give your clients unparalleled views of the Hollywood sign and the Hollywood Hills. They'll have over 6,000 pieces of movie memorabilia. One of their highlights is they have the original ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. And they've created a virtual Oscars experience where when you're there, you're able to walk out on stage and feel the experience of what it's like to win an Academy Award. So I'm sure that's going to be really popular. Everybody's going to get selfies and put that on Instagram of themselves winning their very own Oscar. So stay tuned for that one, and that'll open in April. The sports lovers, every sports genre is represented in LA, and we have a brand new football or American NFL stadium out near the airport at Inglewood. It's about 10 minutes from LAX, but it's also part of a larger entertainment complex. There'll be hotels and retail as well out there, and dining. It's home to the Los Angeles Rams, as well as the Chargers. So you have the two NFL teams there, and it'll be host to an amazing event coming up in the next few years. So the Super Bowl is coming to LA in 2022. So I'm sure for those who have clients who travel for sports and entertainment, that'll be a highlight. And it'll also be where the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympic Games, which are coming to LA in 2028, will take place. Catching a live sports game in LA, I think, is one of the best things that you can suggest or put into your client's itinerary, whether it's the basketball, the ice hockey, or the baseball, and obviously the NFL as well. Okay, so 2020 and beyond, across from the Staples Center in downtown, where the basketball, the Lakers, takes place, a new development is now under construction called Oceanwide Plaza, which will have our new W Hotel, a new Hyatt, and a massive new retail and dining facility, bringing a lot more dining into Los Angeles. So that's the one there in the top left corner. Down in the bottom left corner is the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, and that's actually a museum by Mr. George Lucas, the famous Hollywood director behind the Star Wars franchise. This is his very own museum that he's paying for and building, and then giving to the city of LA, which is now under construction in Exposition Park, just near our Natural History Museum, about 15 minutes south of downtown in the university area where UCLA, the US University of Southern California is located. It's over $1 billion, so it's great that's coming out of his back pocket. But this futuristic spaceship building, I think, has become quite a major attraction. It'll have theatres, a whole heap of different art available to view, performances, and it's surrounded by these beautiful kind of botanic gardens. Going up towards the top right is the San Pedro public market. San Pedro, or San Pedro, however you want to say it, is down where the LA Cruise Terminal is, and it's totally being revamped with a whole host of new restaurants and dining as well, to become a destination within itself. It's the old Ports of Call Village, so that's all broken ground now, and that should be built by mid next year. Then down at the bottom right, this is La Plaza Cucina, which, if you're a lover of all things Mexican food, this is where you're going to go. It'll be the first museum dedicated to Mexican cuisine. It's opening in downtown in our oldest area called Olvera Street, which is the birthplace of LA. It'll celebrate the history and the art form of Mexican food, through Indigenous and contemporary interpretations, and you'll be able to learn and cook, as well as just eat there as well. So if you love a taco or a really spicy mole, this is going to be the place to check out. It's quite an interesting museum. Now, the Warner Brothers studio tour, which is really popular with the New Zealand market, located in Burbank, so it's just behind Universal. They're reopening in 2021, and that'll have a huge new exhibition space. They'll have an expanded DC Comics area. You'll be able to go inside the Bat Cave as well. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a totally immersive experience and just adding a lot more to the backlot tour. And then touching on Universal Studios Hollywood, which is a really popular attraction in Los Angeles. The Secret Life of Pets will open up towards the end of this year. So if your clients, or especially their kids, are a fan of that, there'll be a Secret Life of Pets ride called Off the Leash. So that's all under construction at the moment and is scheduled to open by December. Alrighty, so LA has some of the most iconic hotels in the USA, and we have a lot of new ones under construction and existing properties that are being refurbished currently. So I just wanted to give you guys a few ideas, because I know sometimes clients might ask for what's new in terms of hotel stock. We have about 100 kind of in development or under construction at the moment as well. So just included a few amazing pictures there of them. So these are some new ones that have just kind of opened or have been refurbished, and I'll give you some options in terms of price points as well. The Beverly Laurel on the west side is a great kind of lead-in rate property, really funky, cool, great for families, beautiful pool, and that's newly been refurbished. Then also on the mid-range side is the Wayfarer, which is a new concept. It's a hybrid hotel and hostel. So there's a hostel kind of facilities, but very upmarket, not your kind of backpacker hostel, so there's room share, but a family can take out those kind of quad rooms as well. And then there's rooms that are, as shown in this picture, which are just hotel style. So that could be a really good way for a family or a group of friends to save a bit of money. Obviously, the bed count being a bit higher in a lot of the rooms that they have. The beach side, we have the Kinney, which is in Venice, which is a revamped hotel in the mid-range price. Great property with a pool, about a 10-minute walk down to Venice Beach near the famous Abbot Kinney Boulevard, which is one of the best shopping areas in Los Angeles. And when your clients stay there, they include breakfast burritos in the rate every morning, so that can also be help on the wallet as well. On the luxury side, really excited, we have the Proper Hotel in Santa Monica, which is open. Big news, obviously, to get a new hotel in Santa Monica because it's one of our smaller areas and has this amazing rooftop pool. So this is on the luxury side. So if you have clients looking for what's new on the higher end and they want to stay beachside, have a look at the Proper if you're looking for something different. Alrighty, so we're going to move along to what's kind of currently being constructed and should be opening up next year. In the top left, I have the Godfrey Hotel, which is located in the heart of Hollywood. It'll be a high-end 5-star boutique hotel with 220 rooms, a rooftop pool, a casual steakhouse, and a restaurant. I love the name of this. It's called About Last Knife, and that'll open in late 2020. Moving across to the right, at the top there is the Fairmont Century Plaza. So this is a core, obviously took over Fairmont, and this will be their second Fairmont hotel. Obviously we have one in Santa Monica, and then we have this brand new one, the Fairmont Century Plaza in Century City, which is adjacent to Beverly Hills. It's an amazing property. It'll have over 400 rooms, 5 stars, as I said, all the facilities you can think of. Such as a world-class foot spa in their spa area as well, and it's adjacent to the Westwood Century City shopping mall. This is in a really beautiful high-end neighbourhood called Century City. In the downtown, on the funky kind of boutique side, the Proper, who opened in Santa Monica, will open up their downtown property in a refurbished building that was built in 1924. So it's got some amazing kind of architectural features as well. So this will have a rooftop pool, 148 rooms and 2 restaurants. And the rooftop pool will have stunning views of the downtown skyline. The Thompson Hotel brand is coming back to Los Angeles. That's in the bottom right. This one will be opening up in Hollywood. It's a 200-room hotel. It'll have a rooftop deck, and on the top there, you'll have the most stunning views of the famous Hollywood Hills and the Hollywood sign. So stay tuned for that. A lot of those will be coming online very shortly. Obviously, they're all under construction and moving along quite quickly. So that'll give you some new kind of inventory and something new to sell to your clients. All right, so one of the big kind of trends that we're seeing at the moment, or what consumers are looking for when we have that return to travel, is definitely the outdoor and wellness kind of sector. And with Los Angeles, we're really blessed. It has the best weather. Obviously, Southern California has some of the best weather in the United States. And one thing that LA is really famous for, and might be something you want to suggest to your clients or add in their itinerary or there's tours you can select, is the hiking. We are surrounded by the beautiful San Bernardino and Santa Monica mountain ranges, and a lot of these are within the city limits, such as Runyon Canyon in Hollywood or Mount Hollywood, and then a few are about 30 minutes to an hour away to the north of Malibu. So there's some amazing hikes there. The Eagle Rock hike, the Bridge to Nowhere, Rustic Canyon with the Murphy Ranch, which featured in Police Academy, if anybody remembers those movies, and then the Rocky Peak Trail. As I said, so these are really easy to get to from Hollywood, Santa Monica, Beverly Hills. So if your clients are active, we'll just want to keep that outdoors element to their trip. These are some great experiences, and we have lots of information on that on our website with the full itineraries of how to get there and the level of the hike from easy to mid-range to mountain climbing almost. And then also just keeping on the outdoor theme, Los Angeles is blessed with 120 kilometers of beautiful Pacific Ocean coastline, stretching from Malibu all the way down to San Pedro. And these are just some of the amazing beaches that we have in Los Angeles that I would suggest you add to your client's itinerary. So firstly, we have in the top left, we have the famous Venice Beach, where you have the famous Venice Boardwalk, all the performers, the restaurants and the shops. Down south from the airport, we have Manhattan Beach, and this is like a little bit more of a locals version of Santa Monica without the crowds. So that's a really good little tip to have a look at for clients wanting to see somewhere new, and it's not too far away from the airport either. Then Santa Monica, you can't come to LA without going to Santa Monica, the famous pier, 3rd Street Promenade, etc. And then just next to the airport, down there on the bottom left, is Marina del Rey, which is the largest man-made harbour in the US. And there's loads of boating activities and tours that you can take to go out to Catalina Island or up to Malibu that you can add into your client's itinerary, such as lunch cruises and learn to sail as well. Down there in the bottom, in the middle, is El Matador Beach, which is really stunning, massive rock formations, and it's only about 10 miles just north of Malibu, and it's consistently voted every year as the most romantic beach in Los Angeles. And then just lastly, just touching on one of my favorites is the Lee Carrillo State Beach just north of Malibu. It's got some amazing kind of tide pools that you can swim in that as well, so it's something really nice to add to your itinerary. LA is obviously the epicenter for Southern California, and these are just some of the day trips that you can add to your clients' itinerary. So they can use LA as a base and then travel to these places either by the Amtrak, which I think is one of the hidden gems in California or the US, up to Santa Barbara in 2.5 hours, or down south to San Diego. It's easy to get to Anaheim and to Disneyland by train. I've done it myself several times. It's 45 minutes from Union Station. Great trains and pulls right into the heart of Anaheim. And you just connect with a bus that costs $2 to Disneyland. Obviously, self-drive is a really popular way to see Southern California, and I've just listed there some of the most popular self-drives. And as you can see, they're really not too long. They're quite easy, especially if they're first-time kind of self-drive holiday makers, whether they want to go up north to Santa Barbara to experience the wineries, San Diego for the beaches, or Palm Springs for the desert kind of community experience as well. Alrighty, so that's kind of it on terms of what's new and kind of suggested itinerary options from Los Angeles. So I just wanted to go through some of LA Tourism's trade tools and services in terms of how you can work with us and what we can do to support you. So I'm based in Sydney, so never too far away, and some of the assistance we can give you is itinerary and activity suggestions, When we're over in New Zealand, we have a range of client events that you'll hear about. We offer online training through webinars, brochures, maps, etc. If there's any kind of product contacts you need for hotels, tour operators, etc., come through to us. We have one of the largest tourism membership programs in Southern California, so we can connect you with a whole host of product suppliers. And we also run a great travel agent discount program, which I'm sure you all love to hear about. And that's located on our online training program, which is called LA Insider. And the website for that is insider.discoverlosangeles.com. A really great way to brush up on all your knowledge and go further in depth to Los Angeles. But one of the things I love about it, guys, it only takes 30 minutes. So it really won't take up too much of your time. And you get a graduation certificate for that. And it's a great way also to find out about all of our future events and marketing materials as well. A great way to stay connected with what's happening in LA in terms of product and events is definitely through our social media. We have the largest following on our consumer Facebook of any US tourism board. So there's a lot of interest in all that's happening in Los Angeles. But we've created one now just for the travel trade, and this will speak to you in the language that you guys need in terms of product openings, health and safety information, and then all about our incentives and giveaways just for the travel trade. So if you're on Facebook, that page is Los Angeles Tourism Travel Trade. So have a look at that. And then if you're on any of the other social platforms, I've listed them there as well. And a great app to use for you and your clients when you're in LA is our Discover LA app. And it's labeled under 4 sections: do, eat, stay, and events. And it will just tell you everything to see and do when you're in LA and how to get there. Alrighty, so coming towards the end here, we're going to be really generous today. We're giving away one of 6 $100 countdown gift cards. So it'll be 3 in New Zealand and 3 in Australia. And pretty easy. All you need to do to win and go in the draw is go to LA Insider. So that's insider.discoverlosangeles.com. Complete the LA Insider online training program by the end of this month, so August 31st. And as I said, it only takes 30 minutes. And then email your completion certificate through to me. And the email address is oceana@latourism.org. And then we'll announce the lucky 3 New Zealand winners by the 1st of September. So again, just go to insider.discoverlosangeles.com, complete the training, brush up on all your skills and knowledge of LA, and then email the certificate through to oceana@latourism.org. And you'll go in the draw to win one of the $100 gift cards for Countdown as well, which we'll send out to you. So there's my details, guys. As I said, I'm located in Sydney. If you want to email me directly, there's my email. If you want to have a chat on the phone about something, whether it's the airport, any new conditions, hotel information, contacts, love to hear from you. And again, thanks for all your support in selling Los Angeles. And we definitely hope to see you with Brand USA possibly next year when we're back in New Zealand. So thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks ever so much, Craig. That was a fantastic update. And there's so much going on in the fabulous city of Los Angeles. All those new hotels, the airport. It's great to see, and something that we can all look forward to in the future. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
For those people that have got some questions, now's the time to post them. We do have one question here for you, Craig. It's from Kim. Hi, Kim. Thanks for your question. She's asked, can you cycle on the bridge to nowhere?
No, it's just walking, and it is literally a bridge to nowhere. So you do the trail walk, and then the bridge is kind of at the end, and the bridge actually doesn't go anywhere. It was built, and back in the 1800s, or the early 1900s, I should say, they ran out of money to complete the road. So that's why it's literally called the bridge to nowhere. So it is hiking. But if you are looking for biking or mountain biking, whether it's doing it yourself or the client or a tour guided version, just email me, because we've got a host of itineraries I can send you on that.
Great. Thanks for that, Craig, and thanks, Kim, for your question. We've got another question here from Karen. Thanks for your question, Karen. She's asked, it's a question around LAX. What are recommended check-in times for travel within the US or up to Canada? Is there less passengers at the moment?
It'd actually be arrive a little bit earlier than normal, even with less passengers, just due to the safety protocols that if LAX is implemented, which is great. Obviously, we do need those. So I would tell you guys maybe to add an extra 30 minutes to 60 minutes, just with the health and safety screening. I think you'll find that at a lot of airports around the world at the moment. I'd advise to arrive a little bit earlier, and just have them, well aware of what terminal or where they're going to, if they're transferring, etc. Because there's some new kind of additions to the TSA procedure in the US, and that's obviously across all airports.
Great. Thanks, Craig, and thanks, Karen, for your question. Guys, if you've got any more questions that you think of, please just email me at the email address here or the email address that's in the Zoom notifications if you think of any questions post the webinar, and I'm sure that either myself or Craig will be able to answer them for you. All right, so if we've got no more questions, I will now move on to our next webinar. So email these in your diaries. So 2 weeks from today, we'll have for the very first time Puerto Rico. So we've got the representatives for Discover Puerto Rico coming to us live from the capital, San Juan. So that will be a really interesting webinar to discover all about Puerto Rico, something new. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll have Zachary Smith from Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority joining us to give us an update on Las Vegas.